Jonah Carter. I'm the registrar for Owl's Head Transportation Museum. And today, me and the grounds vehicle conservator, Warren Kincaid, are going to be talking about the 1909 Dion-Bouton. Dion-Bouton was born of a partnership between financier Count Albert de Dion and Georges Bouton, maker of miniature steam engines and mechanical toys. Count Albert de Dion was an early visionary of self-propelled land vehicles. His focus during the 1880s was steam power for locomotion. His interests evolved during the early 1890s to lightweight personal transport that required lightweight power plant. De Dion's earliest vehicles were powered by steam engines, but by the 1890s, gasoline-powered engines had taken over. His goal for lightweight power drove Count de Dion and his engineer Bouton to develop their prototype pygmy engine in 1895. The pygmy was an air-cooled single-cylinder engine that produced half horsepower at 3,000 revolutions per minute. The pygmy engine established the distinctive features of the Dion-Bouton. Dion-Bouton is considered to be the first successful lightweight high-speed internal combustion engine. In the 1890s, at the dawn of the automobile age, engines of speeds at 600 to 800 RPM were considered high speed. And as I said before, the Dion-Bouton was 3,000 RPM. In comparison, the Benz vehicle that we have here ran at 470 RPM. So the Mono's drastic increase in engine speed later became the standard for pioneering motorized bicycles and early motorcycles. Dion-Bouton was the largest engine and vehicle producing company at the beginning of the 20th century. Not only did they install these engines in their own cars and motorcycles, but they licensed their design to manufacturers around the world. By 1902, they established that 30,000 engines were in service, and while the Dion-Bouton's V8 could have been more successful, it did inspire Cadillac's D.M. White to develop his very successful V8 engine. So this 1909 Dion-Bouton has been on loan at Owl's Head Transportation Museum since 1998. And now I will turn it over to our grounds vehicle conservator, Warren Kincaid.
Okay, I'm Warren Kincaid. I'm the ground vehicle conservator here at the museum, along with the help of dozens of volunteers. In the winter, we kind of pare it down to a dozen volunteers, but that's when a lot of the maintenance happens. We had this over in the workshop not terribly long ago, I'd say maybe a month ago, because we had trouble with it last summer, didn't want to start for us, and this is pretty common. We don't really know whether a vehicle is going to start and perform well when we pull it out in the summer for events. Cars this old have a mind of their own. They didn't always start for the owner in 1909 any different than they don't start for us. So anyway, we brought it over, and like in typical fashion, it just thumbed its nose at us and said, I wasn't going to start then, but I'll start now. We discovered it had no gas in it, which is not a problem, I don't believe, during the event, but it was a month ago. Put gas in it, followed the instructions on how to get it started, and it fired right up, no problem. So we're happy with it today. It is, like Jonah had said, it's a single-cylinder Dion engine in a car. Now, Dion, as a manufacturer, was the largest manufacturer of engines in its time. They produced engines for everything. You name it. It's almost like buying it out of a Sears catalog. You could buy a Dion engine and hook it up to whatever you want. You could run your workshop and build another car. I mean, that's the kind of energy you would get out of a Dion, and flexibility. This one is a single cylinder and does produce about 8 horsepower. And most people get this vision in their mind that 8 horsepower is like having 8 horses out in front. When you snap the reins, you got 8 horses worth of power. Nothing could be farther from the truth. The feel of an 8 horsepower car is like a car with 1 horsepower. That's the way it feels when you drive it. But this one doesn't do too bad. It's a small car. It's light. Maybe I'll get Ron to come over and take the hood off. We have 3 Dion engines in our collection. This one in this car. Then over in the energy room, there is that little air-cooled engine that Jonah mentioned in his talk. We have that engine, and we have a Dion engine that probably ran a workshop sometime in its past. And there's a little, doesn't have a water pump. Thermocirculation is what keeps it cool. Hot water rises and cool water sinks. So as the engine heats up the water, it rises and goes in the top of the radiator. As you move forward, because there's no fan, as you move forward, the air cools the radiator, the water sinks and goes back into the engine. That's called a thermocycle circulation. It does have a regular carburetor and a magneto, and it has a priming cup. When you want to get it started, you just put a little gas in there, close the priming cup, crank the engine, and hopefully off she'll go. There's a little knob up front here. That's a compression release. Single-cylinder engines have a tendency to work against you. As the piston comes up on compression, it's very difficult to pull it over the top. So a lot of the early cars gave this compression release, which relieved about half of the compression, because you do need compression for the engine to run. So you just relieve a little of the compression so that you can at least crank the car over. They have a very heavy flywheel, but the flywheel is not on the outside of the engine with most DDOs. They were forward thinkers, and they developed a flywheel system where there's two round plates in there. They look like manhole covers inside the crankcase. And then there's a pin that connects the two. So now they're turning like this. And the connecting rod that goes up to the piston is on that pin. So now it's doing this, okay? And it's all encased. So you don't have a lot of oil and everything flying everywhere. It was popular with Dion style engines. Many other companies used it. Little engines use it a lot. Indian used it. Harley still uses it. And that dates all the way back to the late 1800s. There's a piece of technology that we just keep using over and over and over again. It's pretty cool. They came in all sorts of sizes. Dion built engines anywhere from the little ones all the way up to a V8 four-stroke V8 aircraft engine that looks kind of like our OX5s in American airplanes. That's what they look like. And like Jonas said, you could take a Dion engine and put it in a little tri-car. Looks like a bicycle with three wheels, putt around, all the way up to whatever you wanted. You could buy one of their engines right out of the catalog, build yourself a horseless carriage, whatever you want to do, and whatever you want to do with an engine. Just buy it and figure out what you need to run. There was one other thing I was going to say, and it almost escaped my mind. More than almost. Oh, the early DDOs were used in aircraft as well, and or at least attempts to fly. They were used for everything. The Dion company, I don't know if Jonah mentioned this, started in 1883 and went all the way to 1953. And that was all news to me. I had never even heard of the Dion-Bouton before I got here to the museum. So next summer, if whoever is watching the film wants to show up, we might have this out for an event. It's an easy car to get out and get started. If you can make a request, and if we have the time and the manpower to get things like this out and run them, we would love to do that. So, and of course, if there's any questions to be asked, you can always email the museum or give a telephone call. Email's better. And I hope you enjoy.